Hello and welcome back to Matt Hayes Tottenham blog and today's Premier League award show. I'm joined by Marcelo, David Harris, Shane Fleming and Rob Hogan to go through our goalkeeper, defender, midfielder and forward of the year. And it's not by accident that we have two Spurs fans and two Liverpool fans. It's going to be a fiery debate and I'm sure it's one that you are going to enjoy. So look, make sure to go down and smash that like button if you are looking forward to this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We have a massive interview coming up with Fabrizio Romano just under an hour from now, where he'll be answering the big question, are Spurs close to signing a big defender? You'll find out all you need to know in about 58 minutes. So make sure to subscribe and stick around for that. First of all, let's go through and welcome our guests. We'll start with you, Rob. How are you getting on?
Not too bad, thanks. Thanks for having me again. I thought I'd be thrown off after last night's the whole debacle dealing with these two above me, but sure, look, I'm back on.
Now, look, if some people had their way, you wouldn't be here, but we'll let you on again.
Nah, we love you, Rob. We love you. You may cheer for the wrong club, but we love you.
If some people had their way, there's a lot of places I wouldn't be, so.
Fair enough. Shane, how are you getting on?
Still trying to come to terms with the fact that Liverpool took a short corner in added time today, but
that's Klopp for you.
We try to move on.
That's what.
Hey, at least you won possession, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Possession, right? At least you won possession. No, you won the match.
I didn't think I'd have to bring this in this early, but I mean, like.
No, that's fine.
There it is.
But that was last season. We're talking about the now, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're top of the league now, so.
I mean, yeah, that's
you're
okay.
Right, you're joint top.
You're joint top. You're joint top of the league. Don't go ahead.
You're warming the league.
You're warming up the league for us.
If we're going with joint top, I'm leaving because it's not a thing. Like just like you were joint Champions League winners the year before last, yeah.
I mean, you can give no. I mean, you can give it a case that United are probably going to be top of the league. I mean, they got Burnley. You know what I mean? They're probably going to beat them.
Points on the board, though, Marcelo.
Yeah, but
points on the board.
If you're going on points, that's joint top of the league. You're 33. That's joint top.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's literally the definition of a first place and a second place team. You know, that's why there's numbers beside each team's name.
Well, look, we could be here all day.
How most leagues work.
We could sit here all day debating this and going back and forth. Welcome Alan, channel member to the stream. Lady White Lane there as well. Look, we might as well dive straight into things. We're going to start with our goalkeeper of the year. So we're going to go through each and every one of our guests. They're going to put forward their suggestion for goalkeeper of the year. I have a feeling the four we're going to hear from them. I think I know what it is. We'll go through each of them. They'll put forward their own player, and then afterwards we'll have a debate on that, and we'll come to a decision on it. So look, we might as well start with you, Rob. Who is your goalkeeper of the year for 2020?
This was a toss-up between two. For me, I suppose we'll explain it in a while, but the player that I picked was Ederson from Man City.
Ooh, an early curveball.
I told you, there's no bias here. Like, it's straight up facts.
Ederson, though. He makes a lot of mistakes. You know, especially
you're gonna pick. You're talking about mistakes, and you're gonna pick Hugo Lloris. Will you stop?
Well, you don't know who I'm gonna pick. Rob. You don't know who I'm gonna pick. And by the way, since lockdown, since the new year, Hugo Lloris, since he came back from injury, he has barely made any mistakes, bro. You know what I mean? Like his game has completely changed. Well, since January. No. Like since January of the last New Year, he hasn't made any single mistakes.
But look, we'll have our debate shortly after. First of all, we go to Shane. Who's your nominee for goalkeeper of the year?
It's easy. It's Alisson, and no one can tell me otherwise. Just I'm looking forward to seeing who the two lads put forward, but it is Alisson. There's only one option.
Okay, we'll tell you otherwise in a second. Marcelo, who's your goalkeeper?
It's literally why we're here, Shane. We're here to tell you otherwise.
No, listen. Like I said, I'm gonna go unbiased. I am going to be a little bit controversial because I have my own opinion, but I do think it is Alisson. At the end of the day, I do think it is Alisson. If I'm being honest, I think Alisson was goalie of the year. He saves Liverpool a lot. You know what I mean? I remember that Arsenal game. He had a great save against Laka. His sweep. He's one of the best sweeper keepers in the league. You know what I mean? Like his ability, he's fantastic. It's Alisson. So as much as I want to give it to Hugo, and I do think Hugo. I do think Hugo is a serious nominee. I don't care what you guys tell me. He's a serious nominee. Since the last New Year's, he has been fantastic. Since January and December, he's been fantastic for us. Barely made a mistake. He's made a couple, but that's about it. Every goalkeeper makes mistakes, but I think I'm gonna go with Alisson. on this one.
David, just before you come in, can I ask, Marcelo, why you dressed like a pimp?
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. Because I am a pimp, bro. I'm a king. You know what I mean, bro?
Fair.
I just like how I feel. You know what I mean?
Right, David, come to you now. Who's your goalkeeper of the year?
Oh my, it's killing me. Look, my heart's telling me to say Lloris, but in my head, it is Alisson.
Yeah,
It is
it has
Alisson.
to be. No, it has to
Look,
be.
I agreed to come into this debate unbiased, and just thinking on some of the huge saves the guy makes, like he's probably is a bit more like. Look, Lloris has saved a lot. Faces a lot more saves to make than what Alisson does, but Alisson tends to be match defining. So if I am going to be fair, I have to go with Alisson.
Okay, well, to be honest, I thought we'd have a bit more of a debate for this one. I thought it'd be Lloris versus Alisson, but it turns out it's Alisson versus Ederson, with Rob coming in with the bit of the curveball there. So I suppose we'll start with you, Rob. Why have you picked Ederson over Alisson, especially as a Liverpool fan?
It's not a curveball. Look, as far as I'm concerned, at the moment, they're the two best goalkeepers in the world. Ederson is kind of went off the boil a little bit, but considering he's still, like, both of them played 31 games last year. Alisson got 13 clean sheets in 31 games. Ederson got 17 clean sheets. He conceded 23 goals in 31 games. Like, that's not to be sniffed at. Like,
Martinez is a good shout.
Yeah,
Martinez. I'm sorry to interrupt you there,
with Arsenal.
Yeah. No, for if it was just this season, I probably would have went with Martinez. I think Martinez has the most clean sheets this season.
Yeah, no, he's a good shout. Yeah. I actually didn't even think about him. I'm not gonna lie.
Very good shout. I just went straight off the basis of he has more clean sheets than Alisson had last year. I mean, your goalkeeper is paid to keep clean sheets. Like, David, we spoke about this earlier about like having better defenders in front of you and whatnot. Goalkeeper's job is to get clean sheets. And as far as I'm concerned, 17 clean sheets is better than 13.
Just, do you know the way you said we spoke about this earlier? Who was it that was taken into consideration assists? Because if you want to go on assists like you two guys were saying earlier, surely Ederson wins that then.
Oh no, we were only comparing Alisson to Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, this was in our group chat a while ago. Rob was saying Alisson beats Lloris, and one of the reasons he was given is because Alisson has 1 assist and Lloris has 0. So absolute mountain of crap coming out of Rob Hogan there. But
it's one assist more than Lloris has since 2012. That's all I'm saying.
That would be all well and good if it was a consistent thing that Alisson did, but it isn't. It's 1 assist in the entire year. If he was coming out with 5 or 6 assists, I'd say fair enough. It's down to his ability and his distribution. But if there's 1 assist, I mean, if that's the case, you call it. No, I'm sorry. If that's the case, you say Asmir Begovic is a better goalkeeper than Lloris since 2010 because he scored once.
I'd say Asmir Begovic is a better goalkeeper anyway.
I think Asmir Begovic.
We'll have to go.
No. These men. It's already starting. This man already came here.
We'll have to go to second assists for Alisson and see how many second assists he has.
For me, in the defensive striker, his second assist as well. I suppose he's your pick for forward. Well, look. David, Rob giving it to Ederson over Alisson on the basis of clean sheets. How would you fight back? Why is Alisson your pick?
I think he makes a lot more crucial saves than what Ederson does. I think looking at some of the saves that Alisson has made over the year, like I said, they tend to be result defining. Whereas with Ederson, look, I think he's a lot better with his feet. But just in terms of goalie, me as a centre back, I'd just be more. I'd be more trustworthy of Alisson than I would Ederson. You know, when it comes to making saves and relying on someone to fall back on.
Marcelo, do you want to add to that?
I would say this. I think Ederson relies more on his defense than Alisson does. I think, you know, like, I know people were saying, oh yeah, but Alisson has Virgil van Dijk and all these, you know, players. But they don't understand how crucial Alisson is because his positioning is fantastic. He rarely puts, you know, Liverpool in danger. You know, like I said, he's the best sweeper keeper I've seen since, you know, like Neuer, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like he's so good. He's everywhere. And I think Ederson, he makes more mistakes in the bigger games. You know what I mean? Like I remember against Manchester United, you know, like he making that awful 2 mistakes, you know, costing them 2 goals. I remember against, you know, even Tottenham. You know what I mean? Like, you know, letting 2 goals in between his legs. I mean, you know what I mean? It was easy goals that he could have saved too, I felt like. I felt like he could have saved that. I felt like if that was Alisson, he saves those. But, like, I just trust Alisson more than I would Ederson. And I'm Brazilian, bro. You know what I mean? I know these 2 goalkeepers.
That's fair.
Well, look, I'm happy to concede defeat there. I just didn't want to pick another Liverpool player, so...
Obviously, your other three are Liverpool, are they? Well, let's bring in a bit of a graphic here to kind of have a look at how all Premier League goalkeepers really fared during last season. So it takes into consideration 2019 and 2020, but it's a good indicator here. If we're looking at over or underperforming expected goals, Ederson there is the first, just below the 0% mark. He's underperformed his expected goals by 1%. Alisson has underperformed by 4%. And look at who's top of the pile. Hugo Lloris overperformed his expected goals conceded by 31%. So I'm a bit surprised no one has chosen Lloris. You're a myth, Rob.
No, how is that a myth, bro? I mean, like, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, if you keep a clean sheet, but there's 0 shots on target, okay, I can do that. You know what I mean? Put me on goal. But, like, you know, if there's, like, 6 shots on target and a goalkeeper keeps defending them after game, that's what really defines a goalkeeper, him making saves. So, you know what I mean? Like, anybody can have a clean sheet when there's no shots on target.
But based on what you were saying there, Marcelo, I was actually thinking about throwing Dubravka in for Newcastle.
He's very, very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
True.
If we're looking here,
I just saw a comment there from Marcus looking as to why Nick didn't get a shout from any of us. I think it's because Nick Pope doesn't distribute. Like, Nick Pope is probably one of the best keepers when it comes to saving the ball, but he doesn't really got anything else. And I think that's why he's never gotten in the English team either, because as much as for all Pickford's faults, he's so good at finding a man with a pass, whereas Nick Pope just runs the ball forward and hopes that one of Wood or just win ahead and just make it look good for him. But like Nick Pope, when it comes to saving the ball, I think Nick Pope is right up there and it is the best you'll find, but I don't think he has much more. And I think that's why he didn't really get a mention here in terms of the top keepers in the year of 2020.
I did see another good shout.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, go on, Matt. Go on.
So I was going to say on the point of Nick Pope, looking at this next graphic, if I can get that comment away from Shane, we can't see him there. In terms of goals prevented, Nick Pope is top of the list, facing 17.24 expected goals on target last season, only conceding 11. So he's, in terms of sheer goal numbers, he's overperformed by the most, preventing 6.24 goals. Ederson is in third on 2.12 and Alisson in sixth on 0.42. What are you going to say there, Rob?
There was another good comment come in from I think it was the English Yid, where he picked Alisson, but he said purely on the basis of he's Premier League champion, and I think that's a fair comparison as well, because I see in other places that were doing this. If it was a toss up between two players, it's based on, well, who helped their team win the league, or like if you're doing a player of the Champions League, it most likely goes to a team that's either in the final or has won the final. Player of the Champions League is never given to someone that's knocked out in the group stages.
I think that brings in the massive debate of, you know, does an individual player, should he be based on the quality of what his team around him has won? Like, you know, I'd put Harry Kane in the bracket of potentially one of the best Premier League strikers of all time, but he's won nothing yet. Wait till the 25th of April. So like it is a good point. Maybe if you're splitting hairs, perhaps that is a decisive factor. I think in general, it's not a very good thing to do.
And as well, like if you are going on consistency, then you're going since 2012 when Hugo Lloris came into Tottenham.
Yeah. I mean, that's also like saying, I mean, when Mane won the Golden Boot, I don't think you guys won a trophy, didn't you? Like, I don't think you won a trophy that year. No, you didn't win. League. No, I think that was the year after.
Won the Champions League. No, that was that year, because the Champions
was it that year?
Mane got
Okay, I don't even remember the Champions League final. Anyways, forget that. Shit trophy. But
the thing with Alisson as well, I think what helps Alisson stand out is the difference you notice when he is there to when he's not there. Like when he is there, Liverpool seem to play on the halfway line almost, with the centre backs are on the halfway line. But when Adrian was playing, or even Kelleher in there towards the middle of the season, the centre backs are far closer to their own box than they are to the halfway line, because they just don't trust the keeper distribution or feel that they need to be there. Where like with Alisson, you know, he'll save a lot of one-on-ones. Where with Adrian, you've seen just plenty of examples where, like, the first target goes in against Adrian, it might take 3 or 4 shots for Alisson eventually lets one past him, and it makes a massive difference to the team dynamic. And when we're without Alisson and Van Dijk for a couple of weeks, you could see the difference. Just the team is so much more nervous with the rookie keeper and no centre back.
I think just on Shane's point there, you can see that precisely in the Aston Villa game earlier in the season. Like, shocking result, 7-2. And David, you mentioned it earlier about like keepers having good defenders in front of them and defenders having good keepers behind them and stuff. Like, it goes to show how much Alisson does for Virgil van Dijk, that he could play in that game, and just because he doesn't have Alisson behind him and it's Adrian, he still concedes 7 goals.
Also,
Like,
also to add to your point, I think also if you did not have Alisson at the final, against us, I think we would have beaten you. You know what I mean? I thought he was your best player, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? He made some incredible saves that game, and he really stepped up. I'll say even he stepped up more than Virgil van Dijk. I felt
well, to be fair, Marcelo, that's why he was there, because of the keeper mistakes in the season before Champions League final.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I'm agreeing with you. I just think Alisson is the whole package. I think when you go to shot stopping, okay, I don't think he's the best. I think Hugo is the best shot stopper in the league. You know what I mean? His shot stopping ability is fantastic. But then, but also Hugo, sometimes he's not the best at distribution. He's not the best at passing in the back, while Alisson is. And then you go with Ederson. He's great at passing in the back, but I think sometimes his shot stopping ability isn't the best. But, Alisson's shot stopping ability is fantastic. Like, he's just the whole package when you look at Alisson.
Do you think sorry, go on.
Sorry. As well with Alisson, like, if you're looking at it in terms what keepers improved their team the most, it's Alisson.
Yeah.
It is Alisson. He's improved Liverpool the most. Do you know what I mean? He's held... Basically, he's performed when every big game that's come around. He's always performed. He's a player that you can rely on, and he's improved Liverpool more than any other goalkeeper has improved their team. He's had more of an impact than any other goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
I was at Anfield for a game where Karius kicked the ball out for a corner from a goal kick. So anyone would want to be better than him. The step up in the team, even from like just bringing in a better goalkeeper. Obviously, we brought in Van Dijk and all that as well, but just the difference having Alisson behind him has made it's incredible. Like, and I don't think honestly, if we had Karius in the goal last year, we'd have won that league. I mean, even if we did, there's no way we'd have gotten the 99 points we did. Like, the difference the keeper makes is unbelievable. It's ridiculous how much of a difference he makes.
Do you think it's a new wave of goalkeepers?
Just while we're on, Karius, what was your feeling in the Champions League final?
I actually felt sorry for him, I'll be honest, because you can't help but feel sorry for him. Like, you can clearly see Ramos, who we hate, by the way, and Marcelo now loves. You can clearly see Ramos took him out and gave him a sly elbow. And, like, regardless of what game it is, you don't want to see that happen to any player. Like, you can clearly see the lad wasn't there. He wasn't with it anymore. And then the abuse he took afterwards was uncalled for as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, we mentioned it on the channel a couple of weeks ago about Steven Bergman. And, it's one of those things you don't want to see, but unfortunately it happened.
Yeah. And let's move on to the defenders. Right,
Yeah,
I'm tired of speaking about Liverpool players. I'm tired of giving them credit, but
you're in for it, so.
But
first of all, let's say I suppose we can safely agree there. Our goalkeeper of the year is Alisson, 3 versus 1, and I'm sure he won't have any objection to that. Let's move on to defenders. We'll start the other side now. We'll start with you, David. Who's your defender of the year? Just give the name and we'll debate it in a second.
I'm going to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Ooh, very interesting choice. Marcelo, what are you saying?
I'm going to go with Robertson.
Oh my God, what is happening? Shane?
It's Van Dijk for me.
And Rob?
Andy Robbo.
Oh, so it looks like Robertson has an early lead there. We start with you, David. A very interesting choice, Trent Alexander-Arnold, a fullback who a lot of people will argue isn't able to defend, but as we've said in this channel quite a bit, it doesn't matter that he can't defend because he's playing in a very attacking system where he has defenders there to cover him. So why have you gone with Trent?
To be honest, I just love him. Like, I've never seen a fullback that's been able to cross a ball like him. You know, as well, he gives them a great option getting out of defence with his passing. He has all range of a passing. Sometimes defensively he can be a bit suspect sometimes, but if you're talking about in terms of, like, he does it all. He's up and down. He can defend. He can attack. He can take free kicks. He can assist. He can pass. For me, I think he's just an all-round terrific player, and I don't actually think some Liverpool fans actually realise how good he is.
Interesting call there. Shane, you've gone Virgil van Dijk. I think there's not too much explaining to do on that one, but of a defender who's been out for the last 3 or so months, why'd you go with him?
It's just he is ridiculous, and like you see how much you see how good he is now that he's gone. To be honest, we can't score a goal. Our defense is playing so deep, can't keep a clean sheet. Van Dijk's distribution, even Arteta said it that you can try and hand Liverpool in, and all of a sudden Van Dijk will ping ball 60 yards onto Salah's chest, and they're out. Like, we don't have anyone in there, and that's probably why he went with Henderson against Southampton, to try and get someone that can ball 60 yards to Salah's chest and get us out. But even Van Dijk can do everything. He scored 5 goals last year from centre back as well, from corners, just winning headers. He wins headers, wins everything. Until this year, he hadn't missed a league game for us either. So he's a massive loss. He's a bigger loss to us as losing Salah or Mane would be. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying with Alisson and kind of the effect that he had on the team, I think Van Dijk is certainly a player that we put in that bracket. Rob, you've gone with Robertson, but I know you want to have a word on Trent before you talk about Robbo.
Yeah, just on Trent there, and like, I don't buy this he's suspect defensively thing. I think there's a reason why he's suspect defensively, and Matt, I've discussed this with you before. Like, our best team, we'd say, if we're picking a back four and a defensive midfielder, it's going to be Trent on the right, Robbo on the left, Van Dijk and Gomez are going to play. Van Dijk plays on the left-hand side and Gomez plays on the right-hand side. And then you've got Fabinho plays in the number 6 role. Both Fabinho and Gomez are also by trade right backs. And I think that's what gives Trent Alexander-Arnold the license to move forward so freely, is that he knows if he goes, Gomez is automatically going to just drop into that right back spot. And if Gomez doesn't drop in, Fabinho is going to drop into the right back spot. Like, if now that I've said it, if you watch matches with all 3 of those playing, you'll notice Fabinho drops more into the right back spot than he does into the left back spot. And you'll notice Gomez drops into the right hand spot more than Van Dijk will drop into the left hand spot as well. So I think that he's got enough cover that he knows he doesn't have to defend as much.
Yeah, and I've said that before about Joe Gomez. I didn't bring Fabinho into it, but it was either last season or the season before. It was Virgil van Dijk. Must have been last season. Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip playing in that centre back space. Then Matip got injured, and Gomez came in for kind of his first long period in the team. And once Gomez was added, I think you conceded 1 goal in the next 8 or 9 games. And it's no surprise that happened when Gomez came into that team, because he covers Trent so perfectly. And fair enough, Trent has had poor moments defensively, but as you say, there's no reliance on him to defend. So you have to take into account the system more so than the formation that he's playing, because a right back position for Liverpool is a whole lot different to a right back position for Spurs. So I think that's for me where he is kind of above all the other right backs, that he fits his own system so perfectly. Marcelo, you went with Robertson?
I went with Robertson.
Just to follow on for that. Okay.
No,
go on, Shane.
Go on, Marcelo. Just to follow on from that, even like, you notice since Fabinho has dropped in, that every partner he's had has been on the left. So like, John Matt would always play on the right, but since Fabinho's dropped in there, Matt has moved to the left, because Fabinho has still been used as cover for Trent Alexander-Arnold when he goes forward.
Yeah.
And if you put Matip in there, kind of Matip would do it, but he wouldn't be as good at it as someone like Fabinho, who plays right back for Brazil at times as well. So Rob's point is actually a brilliant point. I never actually noticed until he pointed out there. You didn't actually pick up on that how much cover he had.
I'm actually good at this thing.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, sure. Marcelo, Robertson.
Listen, I just went with Robertson just because I hate to admit it, but I'm a big fan of the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I just really like seeing him play. He just bombs on up and down the left side. I mean, the amount of like space he covers on that left side, he just dominates it. You know what I mean? Especially whenever we play against Liverpool, I'm always afraid of Trent, but then every time it's always Robertson that always always just gives us problems after problems. I've seen us play Liverpool many times and us being able to shut down Trent, but it's always Robertson that gives us problems. And every time I watch him, he's just a bundle of energy, man. You know what I mean? Like, every game he gives out like 110% passion, and you know what I mean? He's so good with the ball. He's his pace. I think he's a better defender, but as Rob explained, you know what I mean? Him and Trent I think they have 2 different roles to play at Liverpool. But if there was one I could choose, it would be, well, obviously it would be Virgil van Dijk, but the only reason I didn't get Virgil van Dijk is because he got injured, obviously, which is unfortunate. But If I had to choose between the two fullbacks,
Yeah.
I would choose Robertson. I rather have Robertson. I just really like him, and he also shithouser. I love his shithouser. You know what I mean?
Rob, the question I put to you is Robertson, after Liverpool won the league last season, it's a stat I've been waiting to bring up at you2, but Liverpool in their first game as Premier League champions suffered the biggest defeat ever suffered by Premier League champions. So I think started off that Premier League title period as they should. But Robertson, I think, was one of the players that was given the most criticism for downing tools and kind of just almost feeling the season was over. So why would you still put him as the defender of the year?
Lad, that game does not count. The lad is Scottish. He was still drunk from winning the league. Like
He should be professional.
they were drinking for 3 days. Like if you've won your club's first title in 30 years, I think you're entitled to have a drink. I mean, in fairness, Harry Kane is going to win probably going to win the first trophy for Spurs in 13 years. That man should drink for 3 months.
Yeah. I agree with Rob.
Bigger achievement.
Yeah. Also,
but I think just on Robertson, like, he had 12 assists last season. Between January and December last year. That's the most of any defender in the league. He also had, of those 12 assists, 3 of those were match-winning assists, and the only goal he scored was a match-winning goal as well.
Yeah.
So like he does the business, but on the opposite end, like he as a defender, like I think one of you mentioned it, he's a better defender than Trent is, which is fair enough. I think we all know that. He committed 15 fouls in 12 months.
Yeah.
15.
He's a great tackler.
For a defender, that's nothing. Like, that's unheard of. Jesus, I think Thiago committed 15 fouls against Southampton the other night.
His duels are the best I've seen for any left back. His duels, he's one of the best. And I just want to add one point. I'm sorry, Maddie, but the thing about Robertson is also I really like his mentality. And no offense to Trent, I seen him have bad games, and he kind of struggles to recover. I think even like the last Southampton game, he had he was losing possession and he just couldn't get back into the game. And then I remember him, Robertson against Arsenal. He was at fault for the goal against Arsenal. And what did he do? He just switched on. He's like, okay, I'm gonna get a goal back. You know what I mean? Like he's bulletproof here, man. You know what I mean?
I think did somebody mention last week that if Trent Alexander-Arnold, as good as he is, if he's got one player to look up to, it's Andy Robertson. And just his work rate and his tenacity.
Exactly.
I do have to throw in an honourable mention to Lucas Digne there as well from Everton. As much as it pains me, he's a quality fullback as well.
He is. Can I say on that point about Robertson's fouls? He committed 15 in 12 months.
Yeah.
In the 2016-17 season, Toby Alderweireld committed 9 fouls in that entire season. As a centre back, of course, looking on the base of it, I suppose it is a crazy stat. But that was kind of put to Pochettino towards the end of the season. How impressed have you been with Toby? He's only conceded 9 fouls. And he was really angry at that stat because although it does show in one way an air of discipline about a player, it also shows perhaps a lack of aggression. Now, you can't put that on Andy Robertson, lack of aggression. But, there are good ways and bad ways of looking at it, as is the case with every stat. No, you can twist it to your own narrative. But I suppose before we make our decision on this, David, I'm going to give you one chance before with an argument why it shouldn't be why it shouldn't be Andy Robertson.
No, look, I can't argue. The two boys swayed me because, to be honest with you, I was going to rule out Virgil van Dijk because we all agreed it was from January to December. I think it was around October, November when they were calling for Pickford to be banned for as long as Virgil van Dijk was out. So look, if it's a whole season, he's out of the running. So I'm going to side with Robertson.
Okay, well, look, I suppose we can accept that. We'll go with Andy Robertson for Defender of the Year. It's a very Liverpool lineup so far with Alisson in goal and Robertson in left back. But I have a feeling there's going to be a fantastic debate in this one. What's that?
We are champions of England. Of course, we're going to dominate this.
For now, champions of England.
For now, listen, there's still 2 more spots. Have
a look at the patches on our sleeve for goals. Years are only
listen. There's 2 more spots,
but there's still goals.
2 more spots, and I'll give you a spoiler.
The cycle is coming.
They're not Liverpool players. They're not Liverpool players.
They're not Spurs.
Let's move into midfield.
You don't know about that. We'll see about that.
Let's move into midfield anyway. I have a feeling I know who's going to be put forward. So start with you, Shane. Who's your nominee for midfielder of the year?
Unfortunately, it has to be Bruno Fernandes from Manchester United.
I can see the pain in his eyes there as he says that one. Marcelo, midfielder of the year.
Listen, I wanted to give it to anybody else than Bruno, but yeah, it has to be Bruno Fernandes. You know what I mean? I wanted to give it to Kevin De Bruyne, just because I'm a fan of Kevin De Bruyne. I like his football. I think he's also a respectable player. I think Fernandes is a an respectable player. I think he's a diver. But listen, you can't deny the guy's talent. He's a great player. So I'm gonna give it to Bruno Fernandes.
Rob?
It's 3 for 3. Bruno Fernandes as well.
Me, I'm going to go for Jack Grealish.
Ooh,
Okay. Fair enough.
At least we have a bit of a debate on this one. I certainly think. Actually, Marcelo, there's a comment here from channel member James Watson saying we all know Marcelo's best midfielder will be Winks. We won't let you respond to that because we'll be here for a few hours.
Yeah.
Look, David, I suppose you might as well start. Why have you gone with Jack Grealish over Bruno and over Harry Winks?
Because look, Jack Grealish has made more of an impact in the Premier League than what Bruno Fernandes has, and he's doing it with Aston Villa. Like, you know, I'm not being funny. I could put my boots on and go out there and play well in the United team. You know, let's be honest.
You couldn't. There's 9 other players on the United team aren't able to do that at the moment.
He is, like, you know, a lot of the hype is he scores a hell of a lot of penalties. But for me, like Jack Grealish, he has more of an impact in the Premier League, and it's his determination, his drive, and to keep Villa up and everything else. And for me, that gets more respect than Bruno Fernandes coming into United. Like, United could sign any midfielder and they come in and look good. It's United. There's better players around them. Look at Jack Grealish. He's a one-man show at Aston Villa. And for me, it has to be him all day long. I don't want to hear anything about Fernandes. I know I have to, but I really don't want to.
Well, you do have to, and we'll start with you, Rob.
Look, you're after hitting the nail on the head there about Bruno Fernandes scoring penalties. Fact of the matter is, in 2020, the guy scored 18 goals, 8 of which were penalties. So, like, he scored 10 open play goals. Kevin De Bruyne is probably the next nearest thing to him in the league. He scored 8 total goals, and 4 of those were penalties. Bruno Fernandes is.
Are we judging the midfielder on goals, or he's all right?
No, not on goals alone, because he's got 1 assist less in the entire calendar year than Kevin De Bruyne does as well. Fernandes has 14. Kevin De Bruyne has 15. But the difference between the two of them is Kevin De Bruyne, he's got 2 match-winning goals out of 8 and 6 match-winning assists out of 15. Bruno Fernandes has 8 match-winning goals and 3 match-winning assists. He wins games for them. Look, let's call a spade, and I'm sure there's a couple of United fans that would agree. There's going to be a million won't, because I think the sun, the moon, the stars shine out of all his arse. But that's neither here nor there. They think like they're not a good team. He has he's grabbed them by the scruff of the neck and grabbed them up. Like we spoke about leaders on the pitch last night. They were running around like headless chickens until he came in.
Yeah.
He's probably been like.
What about Greenwood? He wasn't the only player. Greenwood stepped up. Other players stepped up. He wasn't the only player. Grealish was the only player.
I would say this. I would say on David's point. I do agree with you, Rob. Now I do agree with you. I think since Bruno came into United, he's completely changed United in terms of how they're supposed to think. I do think that United does have a quality team, though. You can't tell me. I know. Like Pogba, he's had like poor form, but you see him stepping up now. He has a world-class player in him. And I think Marcelo is good. You know, I mean, obviously they have Rashford. They have good players, but I think since Bruno Fernandes came in, he demanded more from them, and you see them like stepping up. But I would say for Grealish, though, is that the only reason Aston Villa is still a Premier League side is because of Grealish. You know what I mean? What he did to keep Aston Villa up, which yeah, that's true. But I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna talk about VAR, then you got to talk about United. I mean, you got to talk about United. They get some of the craziest VAR decisions I've ever seen.
I love Jack Grealish. We were only looking earlier, like even on fouls committed. The man has been fouled 72 times this season already. Yeah. The next nearest person to him is Wilfred Zaha with 46. He's almost double the foul. Like he completely dominates.
Remember, he's single-handedly running that midfield. Single-handedly running that midfield. Like he's single-handedly running there. I think he's doing that for United.
Not this season, though.
I think you're doing a disservice to John McGinn there.
Yeah,
and Douglas
Silva. Or Douglas Luiz.
Douglas
Luiz.
I think Villa have a good midfield in place there. I think Douglas Luiz and John McGinn playing with Jack Grealish and that front three as well. I think are doing a good job in Ollie Watkins, Bertrand Traore, and whoever, or Anwar Al-Ghazi on the left. I'm still going to quickly hear at the stats. This season, Bruno Fernandes has scored 11 and assisted 7. Jack Grealish has only scored 5 and assisted 7. And I think we can sit here all day, and it is impressive how often Grealish does draw fouls. But at the end of the day, if we're going to talk about Trent and his apparent lack of ability to defend and how it doesn't matter in his team, I don't know exactly the numbers, but I don't think Aston Villa are as clinical off set pieces as they would want to be with the amount of free kicks that they get. So we can talk about him and the free kicks he wins, but I'd love to see the numbers on how many goals Villa have actually scored from set pieces this season. Again, I'm not really sure what it is.
Or where he concedes those free kicks, because like you watched the match the other day, 4 of his free kicks in the last 20 minutes were inside his own half.
Yeah,
exactly. That's not something you're going to score from. But Shane, Liverpool fan, you've gone for Bruno Fernandes. What's your thinking behind that?
I think the main thing that Bruno has brought United is goals and assists, and I think Rob missed out in the last game. It's when I checked the site today, it was 19 goals and 15 assists in 2020, which is ridiculous. Which are like normally players need a bedding in period when they come into the league, come in and just hit the ground running straight away.
Yeah,
He sets the pace for him massively, and a lot of players they'll set the pace, but it'll be their own half. Bruno Fernandes sets the pace for United on the opposition's area basically, but. Like he's ridiculous, to be perfectly honest. He really is what he does. He brings everyone in to play. He just everyone when he's playing, and like they're saying that he go into that United team and put on his boots, and ridiculous, David. It really is. Like no one is doing what Fernandes is doing for United.
Here's one for you, though. But if you put Jack Grealish into the United team, if you put Jack Grealish into the United team, do you not think he'd have the same effect, or if not better?
No, I don't think so.
I think Jack lad on his goals and assists, you have to judge him on their all-round game. Like you're talking about him winning free kicks in his own half and really not scoring off them. That's not his fault. That's not his fault. At the end of the day, when he's winning free kicks in his own half, he's relieving pressure. He's doing his job. And then, like when he was winning all them free kicks up the other end, it's not his fault that Villa can't capitalise off them. But he's winning the free kicks, and you're telling me he wouldn't do more than what Fernandes is doing at United and make them 10 times better.
But Fernandes is doing the same at United.
I think he'd fit. Yeah, I think he'd fit into United team. Yeah. And I think he'd dovetail excellently with Bruno. But if you put Jack Grealish in there and took out Bruno, no, not a chance. I don't think he'd be. United would be nowhere near where they are without Bruno. Yeah. And there's United fans that will tell you there's United fans that just don't like the team around. Well, the tactics for start. United don't have any tactics.
Do you know? Do you know he's
he does something.
I seen his input from somewhere yesterday, and I think the closest player to having an input for goals and assists to Bruno Fernandes is Eric Cantona at United.
Yeah, but we keep talking about goals and assists. There's more to a midfielder than just goals and assists.
Yeah, but he is that. He's a leader. I'm sorry, Rob, but he's also a leader. But he's a leader. He's also good at dribbling, and he has goals and assists. If you look at Jack Grealish, yes, he is a leader. He is good at. I think Grealish is a better dribbler than Bruno, in my opinion. Yeah. But I mean, like, I just think even if you put them in the same scenario, I think Bruno does a better job. Because the goals and assists that Bruno are getting is ridiculous. No, you don't see any other midfielder in any top 6 side doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? You don't see Kai Havertz doing it. You don't see even Endo Baller, as much as I love him. You don't see him doing it. You don't see these other midfielders doing this. You know,
he's genuinely, and I hate to admit it. And I was disgusted when he went to United, but he's genuinely my favourite midfielder in the world, I think, at the minute. And I've been saying this for 2 years. Matt and Shane will tell you when I used to, all he used to do was Portuguese late games, and Bruno Fernandes was my favourite player. And I've said it from the first time I seen him. He's the closest thing to Bastian Schweinsteiger that I've ever seen, where he can receive the ball off a centre half, make one pass, and then he gets that pass back, but it's in the box. Like, it's as if he disappears after he gets the ball off the defender, and then he just reappears at the other end of the pitch and puts it in the back of the net. Like, and I've seen a few comments there shouting out to Højbjerg as well. And we mentioned this earlier. If it was just based on 2020, Højbjerg is definitely in the question. But I still think Bruno's head and shoulders above everyone.
Yeah,
before we continue this debate, I just want to welcome DJ Samuel, new channel member. Thank you very much for joining, and welcome to the channel membership. If you want DJ, if you head over to the members community feed, there's a link there for a quick snippet from the video of Fabrizio Romano, letting you know what he had to say about Dele Alli. The full video will be out in 20 minutes for anybody who's watching. Romano giving us news on Dele Alli, Sergio Ramos, Marcel Sabitzer, and every Tottenham question you could want to ask in this transfer window. And if there are other fans here, there are questions on Liverpool and Manchester United as well. So 19 minutes, that'll be out. But DJ, if you want to head over to the community feed, you'll get a little sneak peek there on what was said about Dele Alli. But if you want to continue there, Chris.
Yeah, no, I think we already made our points really, and I think most of us agree that it's Bruno. Although, I mean, I respect David. Honestly, I do think David does have a shout for Grealish because I mean, like Aston Villa really last season especially, Aston Villa was a championship side. Like, let's be real here. Last season, Aston Villa was a championship side, and Grealish was the only thing keeping them as a Premier League side. This season, though, I do think he has a better team. I do think he has a good team this season. But I'm going with Bruno.
I think, and Shane mentioned it earlier, if you take Grealish out of Aston Villa and put him into United side, I think he dominates as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think he dovetails great alongside Bruno Fernandes, but I still don't think he gets his 15 goals and 18 assists or
No.
18 goals, 15 assists. Like, he's good, but Jack Grealish is, Bruno Fernandes is a level above.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I think that one thing you could say there is Bruno has been given the opportunity to prove himself on that level, but Jack Grealish hasn't. And although that is a bit unfair on Grealish, I think that could be in any debate the decider of the situation. So I apologise, David. I do agree Jack Grealish is a fantastic footballer.
No, look, key word there is debate, because if I didn't pick Jack Grealish, there would be no debate. So
that's true. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
We just all be sitting here sticking that we had to pick a United player.
Yeah. Just before we move on, I do think if we're talking about the most improved player over 12 months, I don't think anyone is close to Jack Grealish in terms of he just seems to have matured so much in the last, not even 12 months, the last 6 months, from after the coronavirus break now. Jack Grealish has come on leaps and bounds. He looks like a different man. I honestly thought he was a championship player in the first half of last season, but since the coronavirus break and his drink driving charge, seems to just put his head on his shoulders and just kind of he tried the last through the mud. He got him out. He's kept him in the league, and now he's running the show off the left of that front three, and he's doing a fantastic job of it. So he really is.
I
don't get enough credit how much of a leader he actually is.
Yeah. I fully agree with you there. I don't think he gets enough credit. Like people compare him to Maddison and Mason Mount. He's streets ahead of Maddison and Mason Mount.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
I don't think Mason Mount's name should even be mentioned alongside James Maddison and Jack Grealish, but that's Chelsea fans for you.
No, he's good. Mason Mount is good, but he's not. He's not
even better than a no baller, man. He's not even better than a no baller. Mason Mount isn't better than a no baller.
He's not the finished article yet, but he is very good. It's not. He's not useless. Like
he's better than Henderson, I suppose.
Hey, look, Matt.
No, we're gonna be here all day.
Matt, if you want to get your own subscribers, I think it was the English you'd put up that it would have been Henderson would have been his midfielder of the year. So I'm just saying, look, even Spurs fans are right sometimes.
No, it was a typo. He meant to say personality of the year. The only award he was up for.
He doesn't have any personality.
That's fair. I will say I have been a critic of Jordan Henderson, but as much as you can see when he is in the team, how much he influences him. If you look at that game against Southampton when he wasn't in the midfield, you can see there was a big hole left in there. So I think credit to Henderson. He does go under the radar, but he is a very good player. But let's we can call it the forward debate.
Liverpool fans picked him.
That's fair. But look, let's get on to the I'm going to call it the Salah versus Kane debate because I think it's going to be nothing else.
Marcelo's here. It's going to be sun.
Marcelo?
Listen, look. We'll see. No.
I'm asking you.
You're literally first.
No. I'm not going first.
Everyone else has had the chance to go first. You're the only one who hasn't gone first. You have to. Come on.
All right. Listen. I know everybody thinks I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna, say Sonaldo and all this and that. Listen, no, I think I think Mane has been great, for Liverpool over the years. I think he's one of the better, wingers in the league. I think he's better than Salah in a lot of ways. And I think Mane overall game is fantastic. But he ain't better than Sonaldo, baby. It's Sonaldo. You already know. Since January, bro, he has scored 17 goals, 8 assists. That's more than Mane. He's one of the best forwards in the world. He just scored his 100th goal. 100th goal for Tottenham, bro. This man can do it all. He can dribble a whole team. He can score from the halfway line, bro. He does it all. Sonaldo, he's the best winger in the league. I'm telling you, come on. Let's go, Sonaldo. He is the best forward. I don't care what you tell me. Mane can eat it. Salah is a diver, bro. All he cares about is penalties. He wants to go to Real Madrid. Sonaldo is the one. The Asian sensation, Mike Korean team. Come on.
Well, it's a tough
You
one to
don't
follow,
know.
David, but you're going to have to.
You're going to have a heart attack, Fed.
No, look, all I can say is it's the one and only. It's the number 10. It's the great Harry Kane. He does it all. Marcelo talks about Son doing it all. Harry Kane does it all. He scores, he assists, he defends. Do you know what I mean? For me, he is actually the best player, all-round player in world football. There's no debate on it. You're talking about a complete footballer. It's Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane. He's more effective than Son. He's more effective than Son. He's a leader. He's a leader of men.
He actually isn't more effective than Son. Like, statistically, he's not.
Oh, here we go.
Listen,
but
I'll say
we're
this.
talking
I'll say this. If you have any respect, if you're being unbiased, right? It isn't Kane or Salah, all right? Salah, since January to December, has not been better than Son and Kane. Son and Kane have been the best duo in Europe, man. I mean, these guys are breaking
In the world.
Drogba and Lampard's record. So, Salah and Mane can't do that. And you can argue they are in a much better team than Son and Kane. They're in a much better team than Son and Kane. Because if you look at Tottenham right now, right? If you look at Tottenham right now, the only two people we depend on goals is Son and Kane, bro. If those guys go missing, we are screwed. You know what I mean? If Son and Kane gets injured, God forbid, we are screwed, bro. I mean, those guys carry us, man. Son and Kane are the two best duo in Europe, bro. It's either Son or Kane. I don't want to hear no Salah. I don't want to hear no Salah, bro. Salah, he scores half of his goals are penalties, right? I think Mane is better than Salah, in my personal opinion. I think Mane does more than Salah. I mean, I feel like Mane does the hard work, and then Salah gets often the credit. But nah, man, it's Son or Kane. But for me, it's Sonaldo, baby.
Just let me clear up to Rob what I mean on effect. Like, look, forget about stats for a minute. Football isn't just all about stats, right? That you have to take more into account. And what I mean is on overall effect on the team. Like, if Son left Tottenham or Kane left Tottenham, bigger void to fill. If void to fill is Kane. Kane has more effect on the club. He has more effect on the players than what Son does. So that's what I mean by overall effect on the team.
There it is. There's the jersey. Oh, he's got the two of them. You have a jersey for every occasion, Marcelo. I have to give it you. But look, we let Dave or Rob and Shane have their say first of all. Who are you going with, lads?
Oh, sure. Is this debate not over? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Marcelo isn't going to allow us to pick players now.
Listen,
No,
bro,
I'll allow you.
No, I'll allow it, bro. I'll allow it.
Oh, I don't think you will.
He knows that.
But look, we've got 10 minutes left to
Ken.
debate this, so you have to put forward your arguments. Shane, you can go first.
I'm saying Danny Ings, lads. Danny Ings has been the most transformative forward in the league this season. And I'll tell you why in a second now. We'll just let Rob get his out there.
Yeah, Rob,
No, I'm going with Salah, and like the facts are there to back me up that he's been the best player in 1920. Simple as that.
okay, well, I think there's only one place to start
Marcelo is
there.
frozen, which is marvellous.
That's not marvellous. Oh, Marcelo.
No, he's actually had a heart attack.
I can't. Can you guys still hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
What
it.
happened to my screen? What the?
I don't know, you seem to be frozen.
We were
If you want to
sharing
start-
the message.
okay, with Shane. He'll be back in a sec. Shane, while we're waiting for him to come back, do you want to give your reasoning on why you picked Danny Ings?
I think in terms of a player coming into a team and making a massive difference, you can't look past, as much as Bruno and all them, from Southampton's 9 and lost to Leicester to now, they've scored 16 goals, gotten 4 assists in a team that they can't do anything really. Like they always run out of steam, they always lose their heads. I think Danny Ings has been incredible up front there for them. He hasn't gotten much service, he's still gotten 16 goals. I think not many of them were penalties either. A lot of them were open play goals. I just think his runs in behind are incredible. Like his goal against Liverpool there on Monday night was a run off the defender. It was just so clever, just across the line and in behind. I honestly think for him to come back from his ACL injuries and to be doing what he's doing is pretty impressive in 2020.
Shane, Marcus here is saying Flem is on the funny juice. Which I think a few people in here might agree with. And Barry Kelleher as well. Barry saying how many red cards his son had and how many injuries has he caused? Undisciplined and unreliable.
Bro,
Barry,
listen, listen, bro. Listen,
Marcelo, sorry,
go.
you can tell this is an Arsenal fan. And
He's a Liverpool fan.
He's a Liverpool fan,
He's a
bro.
Liverpool
Let me tell you this. He's got more red cards and he's caused more injuries than Bobby Firmino has goal. Put some respect in Ronaldo's name, bro. Put some respect in Ronaldo's name. Just because Bobby Firmino scored a goal against Tottenham doesn't make him relevant, bro. Ronaldo, how dare you say Danny Ings better than Ronaldo? How dare you say? Nah, man. Like I can accept Mo Salah, okay? Like there's a debate in that, because at the end of the day, although I dislike Mo Salah, he's a good player. And you know what I mean? If you said Mane, I would have respected you, Shane. But how dare you say Danny Ings is better than Ronaldo? Ronaldo has had 17 goals in the Premier League since January and December. He has 8 assists. That's more than Mane, bro. That's up there with Salah, bro. You know what I mean? That's up there. He's better. He's been putting up stats better than these wingers, and you know what I mean? Like and these strikers, bro. I mean, like you're telling me Danny Ings, bro. When has Danny Ings ever dribbled past a whole entire team?
Marcelo.
When has no.
Dribbled past 3 players. Come on.
Oh,
Rob,
that,
bro.
He does this every season, bro. He dribbled past like the whole Chelsea defender. He made Jorginho look like a turtle, bro. You know what I mean? This man, he exposed defenders after defenders, bro. I mean, no, man. I mean, did you see that goal against Arsenal? Ings could dream of scoring a goal like that, bro. From the halfway line. What a screamer, bro. That curler. You cannot imagine that, bro. That is Ronaldo magic, bro. It's Ronaldo or Kane. It's the 2 best duos. It's either one of them.
Matty, you worried about me and Marcelo not coming in taking this seriously. Shane's taking the piss with Danny Ings.
Danny Ings, bro. It's going with Danny Ings. Ah, man.
Okay, so I'm still going with Salah.
Fair enough. Listen, you can go with Salah, but listen, for me, it's Ronaldo any day of the week. Although I will respect Kane. Obviously, Kane's holdout play, his creativity, it's off the charts. But I think Ronaldo's pace, his dribbling, his sauciness, bro. You know what I mean?
Son's ill discipline has cost us points. So for me, Harry Kane takes it. It has to be Harry Kane. Look, in fairness, we've been fair to Liverpool guys. Surely you have to be fair. It has to be Harry Kane.
No, I'll tell you, if it was anyone, if I was picking any Spurs player, I would have picked Son as well. And the only reason is, and it's specifically based on, like, this is between January and December. Like, Harry Kane and Son have been fantastic together in this season. Even last season. No, hang on. In 2021 so far, Son's got 11 goals and 4 assists. I think Harry Kane's got 9 and 10 assists. So, last season in
2020, Kane has 36 goal contributions in 33 league games.
Yeah, and even last season, Son had a 30. Even in last season,
he's got 26 in the Premier League.
Goal contributions, not goals.
Goal contributions, goals and assists. He's got 16 goals and 10 assists in 2020.
Or maybe it's all competitions then. He has 36 and 33.
He's only got 26, and 19 of them have come in this season, in the 2021 season. So from January up
3 months of last season.
It doesn't matter. From January up until when the season ended after lockdown, I can't remember when. I think it was July. He had 7 goals and no assists, none whatsoever, at the tail end of last season. Son, on the other hand, had 6 goals. But Son had 6 goals and 3 assists in that time.
There we go.
And now you go back and you look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah had 10 goals and 6 assists in the same time. He's got 23 goals.
There's more than stats. There's more than stats to a player, lads.
Goals win you games. Simple as that. Goals win you games. He's paid to put the ball in the back of the net. He scored 23 goals and has 9 assists in 2020. 5 of them were match-winning goals.
But Rob, I'll say this.
No, hold on. The reason why we picked Alisson as the keeper was because he was the best keeper. He was the best at not conceding goals.
Yeah.
The reason why we should be picking Salah is because he's the best at putting the ball in the back of the net, beating the keepers that are not supposed to concede goals.
But so now those stats, he almost matches
Seven-
Salah. No,
but
he
he doesn't.
almost
It's 17
matches
and 7.
Salah. But you also have to put it in case. So now that doesn't take penalties, right? Salah takes penalties. You got to put that in, and
he scored 6 from 6.
Nah, man, come on. I mean, like,
Can
it's so Naldo for me, man. It's so
Can I
Naldo.
say-
If you want to take penalties out, of it, Mo Salah still has better stats than Son does.
I don't
Can
know.
I just say one thing? We picked Alisson. One of the big reasons was the effect that he had in his team. We gave special mentions to Van Dijk and Henderson because the effect they had in their team. Harry Kane is the reason this Tottenham team works.
Yes, man.
If Harry Kane wasn't in this team, we would be nowhere near the top of the table. We'd be nowhere near the top 4 mix. We would not be in a Carabao Cup final. We'd not be fighting for the Europa League. We wouldn't be thinking we could win the FA Cup as well. Harry Kane is the glue that holds this Tottenham team together. And without his passing ability, without his ability to drop deep and the vision that he has, this Spurs team would be absolutely nothing. Jose Mourinho wouldn't even have
I
looked at this
disagree
team. He
with
wouldn't
that.
have come here.
I thought you were supposed to be.
I disagree with that. No, I
I thought you were supposed to be unbiased, Matt.
No,
I'm
I
unbiased
disagree with
except
that.
He's coming back.
when it comes to Kane.
I think Son and Kane have the same amount of effect because I'm gonna say this. No, I'm gonna say this because when Kane was out,
Son works. He's such a workhorse as well. Son is
exactly like when
It's
Kane is
also-
out.
I-
No. David, hold on a second. When Kane was out, right? Who stepped up for us? So now, though, bro. Even if you look at the Champions League, I know this is, we're talking about this year, but like if you look at the Champions League, you know what I mean? When Kane was injured, who stepped up in the City game? Who stepped up? You know what I mean? Who stepped up for us? In the Dortmund game?
Yeah, but
Who stepped
Llorente.
up for us in those games? You know what I mean?
Kane is harder to replace than what Son is out of the Tottenham team. It's as simple as that. Without Kane,
but so is
we
Salah.
fail to create, and we're hoping to take one of the 2 chances we do create. Without Son, we still create, and we're still a goal threat because we have Harry Kane. There's more to a player than just stats and assists. It's an overall effect on your team as well. Like Matty said, we took it into account for Alisson. You wanted to come on and give Jordan Henderson his special mention for effect on the team. And so for me, if we're doing that, we have to take it into account. An overall effect on the team, no one can disagree here that Harry Kane is the hardest to replace out of all the players that are selected.
Look,
It's
lads,
the same if you
we're
take
not
Salah
giving it
out
to
of the
Danny
team. You
Ings.
take Salah. You take Salah out of the team. We have to
Then it has
replace
to
him
go
with
Salah.
Divock Origi.
But Divock Origi, like, it doesn't matter who you put on that right wing. Liverpool is still going to score goals. Maybe
You guys
not
have
at the minute,
Jota.
but they do usually.
No, you guys have Jota now, right? He can play.
No, he's
right?
out injured. He's
No,
out
well,
injured.
Well, yeah, true, but he's
I
not
mean,
going to be out for
him
long.
and
He's
him
not
and
gonna be
half
out
of our
for
team
long.
are out injured. He's out for another 2 months.
He's out for another 2 months. Yikes.
I'm trying to say we've got
Matty Hayes parent, so we should be
He's-
respectful and go
he's-
with what Matty Hayes thinks.
We have a very intelligent, fantastic commentator that's coming in. I think it's the best argument we've had about any of these so far from Isaiah Francesconi. So shout out to Isaiah for the incredible input into this discussion.
Listen, I can handle the Salah
What did you say?
debate. I can see Rob's point, but the Danny Ings debate is just taking a piss out of Son and Kane. That is taking, like, you can see Shane smiling there. He knows that he just done that just to piss me off, bro.
He done
Can-
that to
can I
wind you
say
up,
though-
Marcelo, because he dressed like Sergio Ramos' agent.
Can I say though, if we were picking like, I mean, this is a bit disrespectful to him, but if we were picking like a second tier of players, I reckon Danny Ings would be top of that.
Okay.
Like very similar to if we were picking like a second tier in midfield, like Kevin De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes are way out ahead. Jack Grealish is way out ahead. But your likes of Mason Mount and your likes of James Maddison and those, they'd be your kind of second tier. And I think Danny Ings is the one that he rules the front line for second tier players, if that makes sense. Kind of outside the top 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
Him and
I agree.
Aubameyang and
And,
Lacazette.
like, we're talking about players that transform the team. Like I don't think Danny Ings' influence on Southampton. No, genuinely, it's just what Danny Ings has done for Southampton has gone completely under the radar. Like they're shooting for a top 7 place at the moment, and Danny Ings is scoring all their goals, and he's coming back from 2 ACL injuries. They look a different team when he's in there. And I know he's a partner. Jay Adams has come on leaps and bounds in the last 12 months as well. I think Danny Ings has been incredible, and he's getting no service. And he said he does 16 goals and 4 assists for a Southampton team that lost 9-0 last season. So I think the factor last
No
time
service.
just goes to show that you don't understand.
But the thing is with Danny Ings, he had his shot at Liverpool and he wasn't good enough.
No,
Yeah,
that's
shot
very,
at
that's
Liverpool.
very
Hold on,
unfair.
hold
That's
on a
very
second.
unfair,
No,
David. He done both ACLs at Liverpool. Both ACLs. That's
Look,
very,
don't
very
be
unfair.
defending the guy. Come on.
Jurgen Klopp would love.
You're only
Jurgen
defending
Klopp would
because he had
love
a
to have
Liverpool
Danny
jersey
Ings at
on.
Liverpool now.
Oh, he sort of screamer the other day as well, to be fair.
Well, look, can I just say
He's a good lad.
would fit in Liverpool now perfectly.
Mhm.
But
we
it's
could sit here
Salah.
all day
It
and
has
we
to
could
be
debate
first.
this, and I don't think we're going to be able to come to a conclusion on this one. But as a Spurs fan, I'm going to have
Matty,
to give it to
fan
Harry
vote.
Kane.
It has to be a
I'm
fan
sorry.
vote. No way. No way.
Look, we
Has to
don't
be a
have time for
fan-
fan vote now.
Throw it in the
Joey-
comments who you'd vote for. It's between Salah and Son. Into the comments.
You know what we're going to do?
No way.
The
No
Fabrizio
way.
Romano video.
No, it's between Son and
Fabrizio
Kane.
Romano
Not
video is
Salah
out.
and Son. No, forget it. No, we gave you guys credit. No, this is the problem with Liverpool fans.
Marcelo, we need to
Give
wrap
you
it
guys
up.
credit.
Marcelo, we need to wrap it up. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
look,
fair enough.
look, that's all we have time for today. Guys, the Fabrizio Romano video is out now. Tottenham have been linked with a very, very big defender today. Go over and head over there and see what Fabrizio Romano has had to say about that one. I've spammed the link in the chat, so make sure to go over, click on that. And in the comments of the Romano video, put down who your striker of the year is. Is it Salah, is it Son, or is it Harry Kane? And we laugh at Rob and Shane tomorrow when you tell us Harry Kane.
Or Danny Ings. Don't forget Danny Ings.
Or Danny Ings. So the link is in the live chat now. Head over Fabrizio Romano on all Tottenham transfers, plus a lot more than that as well. I can assure you, you will absolutely love that video. So head over there, channel link in the comments right now. Smash a like in this video if you have enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe down below as well if you are new and if you are looking forward to the Romano video. Also, smash that join button if you want to become a channel member. Starting at just £1.99 per month. Everything you need to know is down there. But I want to thank David, Marcelo, Rob, and Shane for joining us today. It was a fantastic stream, a fantastic video, and a fantastic debate as well. And hopefully we can settle this in the comments of the Romano video. So again, link in the channel comments. Head over there and find out all you need to know. But from me, David, Rob, Marcelo, and Shane, thank you very much for watching. And from three of us anyway, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. On our way to Wembley. In Jose we trust. Let's go, baby.